the media writers, the people who vote, that it was
So you're
already
saying
decided.
you're saying that there's like a secret cabal of like media writers that have already determined in like February that Shea is one, and that's what you're upset about.
Correct. Yes, 100%. That is what I'm saying. I am saying that. I don't know how to make it any clearer.
This is Flip Phone Confessional, where drama flipped harder than my Motorola. I said I'd lay in a text, got left on red. Now I'm scream singing Fall Out Boy in my bed. We're spilling secrets from the T9 days, crushing on skaters in anal ways. So grab your chain wallet and your black nail pen. We're dialing back to when life made no sense. Time to confess.
So,
What's up? Well, welcome to Flip Phone Confessional. My name is
what's up,
Brandon.
everybody? I'm Justin, who loves to just cut Brandon off randomly. My bad.
What's up, Justin? Yeah, and we are a podcast. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's basically just like two dumbasses like talking into microphones about 90s and 2000s, kind of all things. Today, however, we are going to be talking about a love of mine, a religion, a philosophy, a way of life, and that is called basketball.
Ooh.
We will be talking about NBA to a degree, but we're kind of just talking about just ball. Ball is life. Just talking about the game, you know, and just balling out.
Before we get into that, in good news of the day, because I want to start these podcasts off with something positive that's going on around
Dude, who
here in the
are
United
you?
States, around
What
the
happened
world.
to you? I don't even know who you are anymore.
New leaf. I'm turning over a new leaf. So, cool story down in Rio de Janeiro. They just reintroduced the blue and yellow macaw into Rio for the first time in 200 years. I thought that was a pretty cool story. Yeah, I guess that after development and pressure from development and lack of resources, they really haven't had native blue and yellow macaws in Rio for, I guess, 200 years. So they've started this reintroductive captive breeding program. They did a 14-day trial to see how they were acclimating, which is crazy because in the story it says they introduced them and they grabbed them back up. So I don't know how easy it was to like get them wrangled back up, but I guess they did it. And they said they're going into full reintroduction into September, but it was a success for the first time in 200 years that Rio got its blue and yellow macaws back. So I thought it was a cool story.
That is awesome. Couple of things. So they let them out and they're like, psych, got you. Come back here.
I think it was more of just like, we're going to introduce you for a 2-week trial and then observe you to see how you're reacclimating into the wild as opposed to in an observatory, like into a captive environment. The story says that September there should be more food resources for them. So this was just like a test run and they're hopeful to be full time.
That is really good. That is awesome news.
Some positive news in the world.
Have you ever owned a bird?
I have. Yes. I owned parakeets when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
I loved parakeets. They were the small ones. I always wanted
ones like the mohawk kind of thing.
No, that's a cockatiel.
Okay.
So I had the smaller ones. They were like the little puff balls. They're like either bright blue or bright green or white.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 of them. Kiwi and Snowball. Kiwi was a little lime green one, and then Snowball was a white with a little blue on it. And when they died, I was like, totally devastated.
You just duct taped their
head
back on.
Our pets' heads are falling off. Yeah, but I love birds. What's crazy about birds, this is from my biology background, is like people underestimate how long birds live, especially like macaws and cockatoos. We're talking 70 to 80 years. So if you get one, it's a pet for life. It is not I'm going to go through multiple ones like a dog. This is probably your last bird you're ever going to own.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of things that you love and will hold on to for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you.
What is your favorite sport? If you had to pick a favorite sport.
Hockey. It has to be hockey.
Still, to this day.
I just love hockey, man. I know you and I both grew up on it. Totally. I have memories of, playing with my brother.
When's the last time you played hockey?
Man, pandemic was the last time I actually was on a men's league pre-pandemic, like
Okay.
fall of 2019.
And then how
Which I
often do
wanted-
you watch hockey?
I don't watch as many sports as I do want to, period. My time's
Yeah.
so limited. But I would say at least a couple games a month, and it's so much fun to watch.
You were telling me
Hockey.
about that.
It's probably, I think hockey is the most fun sport to see like live. I don't know if it's close. I mean, I enjoy basketball. I love basketball. I was at a
Yeah.
Nuggets game this last week, but dude, hockey games live, it's just so fast paced. There's no breaks like there is in football or basketball or soccer. It is like constant go,
Sure.
go. That's what I love about
Wait,
it.
you went to a Nuggets game this last week? And you didn't tell me?
Last Wednesday. Yeah, I went to that Grizzlies game. So it was like close up to 3/4 and then like blowout after.
Okay. With who? Where were you? And who were you with?
Mind your business, dog.
Yeah.
I was just with a good friend.
What? Who? What was his name? What was her name?
It was her name, Sarah. You've met Sarah.
Okay, got it. Fine, whatever. Okay, so we need to reset from here.
Yeah.
And kind of
that's
bring
fine.
it back to the beginning of basketball.
Sure.
And we'll
You
make
didn't
our
answer
way
the
up to
question,
modern
though.
day. Yeah,
What's
yeah,
your favorite sport?
yeah. We'll get to that.
Okay. Do you want to start over? Should we just
No,
like pause? and
no.
break?
We're good. Basketball was a game that was invented by James Naismith, Naismith, in 1891.
Canadian, right?
Canadian, as basically a reaction to football. Football was just too violent of a sport. And he's like, I want something that's a little bit less violent, and I want something that we can play indoors when it's like really fucking cold. And so yeah, just put up. I mean, I was looking at the actual rules of the game, and they've like evolved so much. Some things have
Yeah.
actually stayed. But from this 1891 game that was just made up by some teacher, in a field somewhere, it's pretty crazy how we humans evolve from our dumb little hobbies into like things that, now getting back to your question, that matter so much to me and to the entire country of the Philippines. So
It's like basketball, like the
huge.
number
It's
one
like
sport
religion.
of Philippines?
Yeah. It's
Really?
like Catholicism and then basketball. It's like right there. And I don't know why this is, but it is in the soil because the Filipinos, right? I'm 5'9". I am a tall, monstrous, towering Filipino. You know, but for whatever reason, within the island of the Philippines, the thousands of islands of the Philippines,
You got the
where people are-
recessive gene to break 5'6", so
well, shout out to Daryl Baker. Yeah, giving me a little bit of height. But no, it's like, I don't know. You would think that, okay, well, maybe in the Philippines they would like be obsessed with like soccer or like there would be a ton of like middle infielders. But no, it's just like a bunch of like 5'5" dudes, incredible calves, you know, jumping six inches off of the floor. But I don't know.
I might be Filipino then, because that's about my vert.
I grew up in Southern California. My favorite sport growing up was hockey, and in my adult life, it's basketball. And I think that's
Okay.
because basketball translates much easier to honestly just playing. Like with hockey, you need to have, you know, a rink. You need to have all the gear. You can't really. It doesn't travel that well. Hockey equipment stinks like shit. You know, just like having a hockey bag in the back of your car is like not the most attractive thing. I can fly anywhere in the world and I can play a game of basketball just like that. And of course, if I had basketball shoes, great. But if I just have, you know, shitty whatever sneakers, if I have flip flops, I've played basketball in the Philippines on the beach, which is wild. Like, so I
How's
was
the
in the
ball
Philippines.
bounce?
So it's funny. So I was in the Philippines 3 years ago, and we played threes on the beach, and with I think maybe like a 9-foot hoop.
Wow.
I was our starting center at 5'9". And I was with like two other buddies who were like 5'8" and 5'10". But I had the most like heft playing against these other Filipino dudes who were probably like 5'6", 5'7". And we're like, okay, well, we're just gonna be like one of the guys on my team, a buddy of mine is Australian. Another guy is American. And we're like, okay, like we'll just pass the ball. We won't dribble. Like that's fine. These Filipino dudes are crossing us up in the sand. each
That's
time
amazing.
we're dribbling, it's going out of bounds like right away. But we're also sending alley-oops to one another because it's on a 9-foot rim. Oh, by the way, the rim is on a palm tree. So it's like, it's exactly what you're envisioning. It is like as beautiful and kind of cliched as possible.
That's amazing.
But, you know, we ended the game and like people are like bleeding, you know, because we're like, the sand has like rocks and like coral in it.
Nice.
My buddy has like an open gash on his foot. But nonetheless, yeah, there's been several times in my life where I've traveled to different countries and just picked up a basketball with people who I don't speak the same language with. Like this has happened in like Taiwan. This has happened in Europe where you don't speak the same language, and then I arrive on that basketball court. People see that I know how to play basketball, and all of a sudden you're speaking the same language of basketball, and you have this connection with these people from around the world. Now, of course, you can do that with hockey. Of course, soccer is huge in that.
I was gonna say there's probably two sports that come to mind that you could do that with. It'd be soccer and volleyball, because there's
Yeah.
not a lot of like people just get it. You don't need to like speak to communicate for that. You just look for the open person, and that's it. Like you just move together.
Exactly. And that is what is, I think, the most beautiful thing about it is don't get me wrong, I love scoring, love playing defense, but like the passing in hockey, the passing in basketball, the passing in soccer just creates this connectivity
Yeah.
that is just so palpable and addicting. And I fucking love it, man. I still play ball to this day.
It's interesting that you fell in love. Well, basketball became your favorite sport as an adult when you were a kid and probably had one of the greatest runs in SoCal history when it comes to basketball. When you had Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, because you would have been, were you like 14, 15 when they
Yeah.
won their first championship? Was that 99, 98?
It's
When was their first-
2000, 2001, 2002 is the three.
Okay, got it. Got it.
No. I loved the Lakers then. It was just that I didn't really play it, and I went to college. My roommate, my buddy PT, shout out PT. He was the starting two guard on our high school basketball team. So we got to college, and he's like, "Okay, well, I play basketball, so that means you're going to play basketball." And he basically just like coached me up through college, which was super sick.
So it's once you got involved in actually playing the game that it became like your favorite sport. Then
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, hockey was the sport that I was probably best at. Yet again,
because
I am
flat
5'9".
Yeah.
But also basketball for me was this truly cultural experience in Southern California, with Shaq, with Kobe. But like when Kobe died, like my Nana called me. You know, my Nana and I like talked about like
that's
our
wild.
memories of watching, you know, the Lakers, and we would take my Nana to like Lakers games. My papa would watch with us. He was a Celtics fan, so he would like talk shit. But it was this thing that we did communally as a family in a way that we just didn't do with other sports. I don't know why that is.
It was such a cultural integration, right? When you think of like Kobe, because I remember my first experience with Kobe, because I've talked about this before. I didn't really get into sports till I got into college. So this would have been like 2006. And the only reason I got into sports was I wanted to have something to talk to all these other guys about so I could make friends, so I could integrate in conversations. I remember starting to get obsessed with basketball then. Of course, we were spoiled here in Denver. We had AI and Melo on the same team. Then you had Kenyon Martin, Marcus Camby,
J.R. Smith.
Earl Boy. Yeah, J.R. Don't
Earl
get me started,
Boykins, yeah.
Earl Boykins. I was like, don't get me started on J.R. Smith.
Birdman.
Yeah. Well, Chris Anderson was a little later, but yeah, it was super.
Nene.
So Nene Ty lost. Anyway, it goes on, right? But it was I just remember those. It was either like Nike commercials or NBA 2K commercials where it was like the white Mamba versus the black Mamba. Do you remember that? Where it's like the super ginger dude who wore goggles. They're like, oh, they call Kobe the black Mamba, but they call me the white Mamba. And I just and you had those commercials with LeBron and Kobe where they're the Muppets, the Nike Muppets. Do you remember where he's like, playoffs, baby? And Kobe's just like, hey, LeBron, here's 3 chocolate chip cookies. And he just was like making fun of how he didn't have any rings. So it is interesting when you talk about Kobe in the NBA was like synonymous. Like you couldn't talk basketball without mentioning Kobe, and then it evolved to LeBron James, and I think we're seeing that again now with like SGA and Wembanyama of what you correlate, or Anthony Edwards, Jokic too, but Jokic kind of stays out of the light. What was your first introduction to basketball as a kid?
Okay, so when you're putting together your 90s room, right? And we're
Yeah.
looking at posters. First thing that I thought, it was like, you need to have a Jordan poster. Because every kid growing up, at least during my era, had
Yeah.
that Jordan poster of some sort, like either the dunk or the one where he's holding the two basketballs out. Like,
Yep.
you know, and he's like
Or
palming them.
he's hugging the NBA championship
crying.
in the locker
Yeah.
room. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I honestly, my cousin Michael was a huge Jordan fan, and I was a Lakers fan, and I didn't like Jordan because I thought Jordan was taking away from the legacy of like Magic.
Got
Until eventually, you know, by the fourth and fifth championship, you're like, okay, this guy is like the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But he was also so cool. He had like those hoop earrings. He was like jacked as hell. He was incredibly charismatic. I mean, what he did, you know, for the NBA, obviously Bird and Magic really in the 80s propelled it to this amazing thing.
Race war.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, and so this goes back to my point originally of like why I think that the NBA catches more flack than other sports, why it seems to be better fodder for like either discussion or disagreement, is because I think it's also the most naked of the sports, meaning like guys aren't wearing pads, they don't have a helmet on.
There's no
So,
masks.
there's
see
no
them.
masks.
And people literally sit on the court. That's the only sport
Right.
where you're
You're-
literally inches away from the player.
You're right there. The court itself is smaller than like soccer. The number
Mhm.
of players on the field are smaller than with soccer. So when it comes down to winning or losing, you can directly point to one person typically. Like just
I
the
was gonna
sheer
agree
math
with you
of it.
there. Yeah,
Go
I was
ahead.
going to agree with you there. It's like it's the only team sport where it's really an individual sport. Where I mean, like, if you have the best player in the world on your team, even though it's a whole team, you're probably still going to win because of the person that you have. Unlike football, where
Hockey.
you have an offense and a defense, you can have the best quarterback in the world. Doesn't mean you're going to win if you have a really shitty defense who can't stop anybody. So yeah, because of how small the teams are, it's only 5 players. There's such a seismic advantage of if one of them is historically great.
Which is why I think also there are these ups and downs within the history of the NBA, because it is so reliant upon the cult of personality or even just like the style of game that is played. Right? Like so many people are like, well, I'm a LeBron fan or I'm a Kobe fan. Rarely do people say like in the NFL, well, yeah, I'm actually a Joe Burrows fan. It's like, no. Like you're a Bengals fan.
Or
you
a
know?
Ravens
Like,
fan.
you're-
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a team. It's
Don't get
not
me wrong,
it's not a
like-
player.
Right. Sometimes like you're like, oh, I'm a huge Mahomes guy. Sure. Like that does happen, but it tends to happen more in basketball, I would say.
Yeah, I would say, I'm trying to remember when I was growing up, I can't remember if it was before Space Jam or after Space Jam, but I honestly think my first introduction to Michael Jordan was Space Jam. Space Jam came out in 95. I would have been 7 years old, so I'd only
Yeah.
had real consciousness for 2 years, and my parents weren't huge sports people to begin with. You know, it was a military household. We
Right.
just didn't really. We watched like the Super Bowl. That was pretty much it. Other than that, maybe some baseball games here or there, but it wasn't like sports didn't. My parents don't really care about sports. That's not like
You're not
their
Filipino?
thing. No, I'm not.
Oh.
Surprise. And so, but I do remember, and this may have been before Space Jam came out. I do remember seeing the Bulls introduction on our TV in the family room. So I think
Yeah.
I remember my parents actually tuning in for one of the NBA Finals games for the Bulls run. That would have been 94 or 95, right in there. But I didn't have any still concept about it. I just remember the Chicago Bull and the laser show being on center court. But yeah, it wasn't really until after that movie did I know anything about Michael Jordan. And then, of course, I wanted to keep up conversations at elementary school, so I needed to learn, okay, who's MJ? What's this all about? And then, of course, you had all the commercials, right? You had McDonald's, you had Gatorade, Hanes. He was everywhere. But again,
You're the Hitler mustache,
whoa,
you know?
which one?
Do you not remember when Michael Jordan had a baby Hitler?
Was that the Got Milk commercial?
No, he sometimes does like the Hitler down the middle and then like ever so small, like a little fringe here. So it's not a full
You gotta
Hitler,
be careful
it's a
throwing that
baby
word
Hitler.
around. We'll probably get this taken off Spotify.
A baby Hitler mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw all those commercials, and it's like, okay, MJ's everywhere. You had the video game, you had the movies, you had the posters. You can't, once you were integrated into childhood of something that had that much of an impact, it's like you can't escape the NBA. All of a sudden, you know everybody, right? You know Charles Barkley, you know Patrick Ewing, and then of course you knew Larry Bird because in that movie. Anyway, you just found out like everybody's name right then and there. And then you had NBA Jam too, right? So that was kind of an introduction to basketball before like NBA 2K.
Dude, totally. I feel like the Dream Team in '92 went to Barcelona. That was
Yeah.
huge to
I was
to
4.
expand
So
the
for me,
game.
it was
Yeah.
like I wasn't there yet.
But just like historical context, that was
Yeah.
like huge. Yeah, I think the NBA has done like an incredible job of making its way to Africa, to Asia.
Mhm.
to-
Asia
to-
specifically, it's massive
It's
it's like the
huge.
number 1 sport in China, I think, is the NBA for
Yeah.
viewership.
Totally. Like Dwayne Wade has a full like shoe company that's based
Yeah.
out of China. It really like it became this major not only cultural touch point, like an export of American culture like around
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Yet again, like the NBA started in 1946. It's only been around for 80 years. And it is one of the biggest sports in the world. Who would you say is like the best basketball player in the world right now?
The best player in the world right now, and it's consensus if you look at like Paul Pierce,
If I
Tracy
look at
McGrady.
various posts online and I look at the comment
No,
section,
I'm talking about like actual players that play ball. Dwight Howard, Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, Shaquille O'Neal, what's his name? Kenny the Jet, even Charles Barkley. They say Nikola Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. As of right now, he is the best player in the world. I don't argue with him.
is this the first time you saying this? I feel like
No,
I haven't
yeah.
heard you or like
It's
read you on
weird.
various posts
Yeah.
when I'm scrolling.
You mean
Unbeknownst to me.
every basketball analyst posts on Instagram, I'm literally shouting at the mountaintops about how he deserves an MVP. No,
So you would
it's,
say he's the most valuable
I
player?
would. Weird. Yes, I would.
The gulf that you think there is between Jokic and Shea, I think is smaller than what you think it is. Because I think Shea is a better defender than Jokic, and I think Shea is an incredible clutch scorer. I think that
So is
Jokic.
Jokic.
I'm not saying that he's not. I think that it's incredible to lead the league in assists and rebounds in the same year while being is he like 6th in scoring? Something crazy. Like Jokic's numbers are absolutely nuts.
What I don't understand how everyone's just saying it's unanimously Shea. It's not even close. Like that is all
Who's
the
saying
rhetoric.
Who's saying that?
Literally,
what are you reading?
New York Times said it. The
Think it's
ESPN
unanimously?
Yeah, it said it's not it unanimous MVP is SG. It's already been predetermined. That's what drives me nuts. Is they're saying it's not even close.
By who? People are voting on this still today. They're
Correct.
going to vote
And
on
who
it.
votes on them? The media votes on MVP. It's not basketball purists. It is literally everywhere. New York Times said it. Wall Street Journal said it. ESPN
They're
said
gonna
it.
they're gonna show the amount of people that got what votes. They break down who got first, second, and third place votes.
Correct.
So I
I'm
don't
saying-
think it's going to be unanimous. It's
I'm
only been
saying-
unanimous once
No.
ever.
I'm saying they're all saying it's already determined it's SGA. Like, and it's been SGA since February. I don't see how they're already saying it's not even been contested since then. That's my whole argument. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is coming from
Jokic got injured and he was out for at least a few
17 games.
weeks.
17 games, and SGA got injured. He missed 12 games.
No, what I'm saying is, like, I think Jokic at the very beginning of the season was playing out of his mind. He then got injured. He was gone for a little bit. He came back. He wasn't the same. He came back and he was just not the same player for a good 10 games. Like, his defense was not up to par. I think he's playing a lot better now. But that is why, and I don't know what article you're referring to, but that is the world in which I could conceive them saying, like, yeah, in that time, someone has overtaken him because he has played better in the interim.
I just, for people from what I've consumed from many different places, already have it as SGA's, and it's not changed. What I don't understand is how it's not changed when Jokic literally just done something that's never been done in history, even when Kareem and Wilt were in the NBA. First player to ever lead in rebounds and assists. And you're saying that didn't move the needle at all?
It's no, I'm not saying it. Who's saying it didn't move the needle?
I will send you
the way
all
you
this
choose
media.
your words. The way you choose your words. I feel like you're arguing against something that doesn't exist.
Because
You're
I'm
saying that
telling you, based on what I've read, is that it was already determined, and ever since that point, no matter
when you say
anything he could
already
have done,
determined, by whom?
the media writers, the people who vote, that it was
So
already
you're saying
decided.
that you're saying that there's like a secret cabal of like media writers that have already determined in like February that Shea is one, and that's what you're
Correct.
upset about.
Correct. Yes, 100%. That is what I'm saying. I am saying that. I don't know how to make it any clearer. It was for whatever the NBA wants as far as a narrative, and this can also go into a racial discussion.
Yeah, it's the Epstein files. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying they don't want someone who's
Wow,
not.
you throw out race?
Yeah, 100%.
Continue.
100%. I just don't think they want.
He has 3 MVPs.
Correct. And they want to protect him from ever getting close to Jordan.
Because they're trying to protect black people.
No, I would say they want to protect a legacy. They don't want to have some freaking center Serbian to be on that Mount Rushmore. They don't. They don't want that narrative. I think if you just look at it, again, you have not given me a definitive on what your definition of how MVP should be measured. It is not some like gray area. There should be hard rules to measure of how this is, or else your argument's just going to be here and there. It can't just change everywhere to fit your narrative. What are the rules to win MVP? Is it the top 4 stats?
Same to you.
No. If it's the top 4 stats, is it things that have never been done in history? Is it just defensive metrics? What is it?
It is all of those things. And
no. You can't do that. You have to have a checklist. If we're going to have a debate that has to be fair, there has to be quantifiable, not immeasurable. Oh, look at him. Yeah, correct.
Subjective.
None of that. No subjective bullshit. There needs to be actual list of here is how we measure in fairness, how we quantify if someone's better or worse in the MVP. I don't like a system where it's not constant. Then it's not fair. This is not. Then this award is a joke.
We're talking about a made-up award that doesn't actually exist, that people just vote on because it's how they feel about a certain player.
Correct.
Like, here's
it
what I'm
shouldn't
saying.
be based on feelings. You just said it right there. This award should not be based on feelings. It should be based on fact and merit. That is my whole point.
But you can't measure everything with a fact.
Why can't
I? You can't. Because look, if you want to do only stats, right? It's like how many points are scored because Stephen Curry takes 2 guys into the corner and never touches the ball so someone else gets a layup.
Correct.
How many shots are defended at the rim by Wemby just not even being close, not stealing or blocking it. The guy just turns around and he doesn't shoot. You're talking
about advanced metrics. Yes, I agree. Those should be used. Those are measurable. Advanced metrics for there's advanced metrics for everything you talked about. What was that? They talk about like defensive rollout, like something I'd never heard about before for how Wemby affects the game. Like these are like new things are created. That's measurable.
Right, but you can't measure how an opposing coach changes his play style, what he's calling based upon who's on the court. They're always going to be like as factual as you want to get, as granular as you want to get.
Yes.
There are always going to be gray areas within a given sport with like strategy that is not quantifiable. It's not. Okay. And those are the things you have to take into account. Even things like leadership style, like those aren't measurable, you know?
I want for us to have a constant debate to where the status quo doesn't change of how are we measuring where an MVP is, and then each line we can see clearly on who's better based on these metrics. That's what I would love. But what you're saying is, oh, we can't because we don't know how a coach is going to change or if he's a leader or who draws a double team and who doesn't and opens up the floor. I don't care about that. I care about a constant argument to have a debate on. If that's always going to change, then this is a dumb conversation to ever have, because you're just saying, oh, what mattered this year is going to change next year. That's not how I debate in facts, in numbers, in data. And if people want to debate on emotion, then what's the number? When you talk about anything you do in your life, you
Yeah.
make decisions not based on emotion, because when you make decisions based on emotion,
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about people in general? Or are you talking about yourself?
I'm saying this has been studied. When you make decisions based on
Okay.
emotion and not
Okay.
rational decision making,
Wait.
you-
Why are rational and emotion mutually exclusive?
because when you're at a heightened emotional state, you're not thinking
Okay.
clearly. You're not.
Okay, so now
it's
you're talking heightened emotional state. So you're saying when you are using emotion without reason, because I don't think that those two things can exist at the same time.
I'm
I
saying
think
if
you can make an emotional decision and it still be within the realm of like sound mental reasoning.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. If you're making a decision based on emotion, wouldn't you would say that decision is inherently biased because you're making it from an emotional state and not a numerical decision?
I guess, but then what you're inferring is that like that all facts are truth. I mean, I think we've seen over time how data can be misconstrued to support various arguments. I don't think that because you're making a decision based upon emotion that is necessarily wrong. And here's what's interesting is I don't think that I'm making these decisions on the MVP race in the NBA
No.
based off of only emotion. What I'm saying is like, for me, I don't need to have a rubric that is etched in stone that we go to every single year. I think you're upset because you don't like that the goalposts move on a given year to argue for a certain player over another, and you want it consistent. You want it to be this thing to where like over time we can compare it to that. I'm far more okay with that being something that evolves based off of many factors, and I'm okay with that.
My whole point is, who controls the narrative? You have no control on who's moving the goalposts. Who's that arbitrary decision maker? Who decides, oh, we are moving the goalposts? You don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that. If you were saying, oh, Adam Silver's the one moving the goalposts every single year, I'd at least be okay with that because I understand who the individual is. But
Yeah.
it's just, we're just all going okay with this narrative as like, the goalpost move. Who the fuck moved it? Why did it move? How could, where was this? Who decided as a collective, like you said, what cabal decided, oh, we're actually going to move it this year? You're fine with it until it happens to you personally. And what I mean by that is,
It has happened to me personally.
What do you mean?
If we're talking about MVP votes, yeah, I am still bitter about Steve Nash winning his second MVP.
No. Pause. I meant
Okay.
you personally in your household. Let's just say your wife at her tech job, she won it 3 years in a row and she was poised to win it again. She hit all the criteria. She met every measurable thing, but all of a sudden the work comes and says, well, actually we decided this person because they're newer. They didn't have as many in sales, but percentage of where they were relative to their peers, we decided to give it to her.
Sure.
And you missed all that out. I highly doubt you're going to be okay with that if it hurt your pocket and family directly, especially
I probably
from a
wouldn't be.
Yeah, but that's my whole point is like if we change the goalposts,
The goalposts have not been established with this though. You're asking for it to be established, and it's not. So
I
that's
guess why can't we? Then it becomes the discussion. Why can't we establish a clear and definitive to make this something that we can compare greats forever in time? Unless that's the whole idea is like, oh, we never want to know without a shadow of a doubt based on data of, oh, if LeBron was better than Jordan because we're not setting it inside of this box of data, number, and statistics. Is that like the whole point? Is that
I would say so, yeah, because what you're asking for is potentially limiting to what it can be moving forward.
I guess I would love just like, 70% on ball statistics, 20% off ball, and then 10% intangibles. Why
Right.
is it
So now you're pigeonholing the most optimal player for the MVP versus what the lack of guardrails that we have now allows for more ideas of what most valuable could be.
don't you need to have something measurable, right?
Says who?
Because
you do,
that
but
no,
that, I
because
don't
it's
necessarily
literally
think
a
that.
measurable award. Most
It's
valuable.
not a measurable award.
Most is a measurement. Most valuable player is a measurement award. That's literally the definition of the award.
But
And you're
they've
saying to not have
specifically-
measurement in it.
Dude, you're not the first person who's ever thought of this. So they have specifically kept the award, this nebulous idea of valuable, on purpose.
Correct.
So
It's-
when you bring up the fact that, like, oh, your wife as a sales goal, it's like, yeah, you're looking at numbers, and if you have better numbers, then you should win. We're talking about not the best salesman. We're talking about employee of the year. Is what we're talking about.
Jokic is the best employee of the year, clearly.
Right. So that measurement is, yeah, kind of based on the subjective ideas that your boss has of who you are as an employee.
Then it's just a dumb award. Then it's a pointless award. Then it shouldn't have any merit to
Then
it.
you should
or like,
stop commenting on so many posts
No.
online.
I'm just gonna keep telling everyone it's a pointless award because there's no way to measure it, and that's final. Because that's
because
what
you're
Brandon said.
salty. Because you
Why is me saying having a set data set to be able to measure something so it's fair to every player in the NBA every single year a bad thing? It's not. It gives someone
what I'm saying is having that measurable data set can be unfair.
how? I don't see why it would be unfair. Here's what I could say about myself, and I know this for a fact. If we just had a measurable set of rules of how we're going to measure the MVP, and you gave
Yeah.
me data across SGA, Jokic, and Wemby, and I see that Wemby and SGA, the in-depth analytics, in addition to these numbers, show one versus the other being greater than Jokic, I'm fine with it. I'll admit, okay, Wemby should win it based on all this data. This makes sense to me of why Wemby should be the MVP of the other two, or SGA should be an MVP over the other two.
Just
I
saying,
just-
regardless of the rubric, you would be fine with the rubric,
Just give me
assuming that they're qualified people to put it together.
just give me a rubric that's set with actual data that's measurable, not just this whole from a view standpoint. I don't like ambiguity. I just don't think that should be fair. If you're giving an award, it should live in the gray area.
See, now we're getting to kind of like philosophy, because I love ambiguity.
I know you
love the
do.
gray.
It's so interesting
Yeah.
that you just want some award to be different every single year, and my mind doesn't work that way. If you're gonna have an award that you're gonna have every single year, there should be a set of rules around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rachel, your wife.
Yeah.
You meet her, you're dating, you
Yep.
fall in love.
Yep.
When you decided to marry her,
Mm-hmm.
how much of it was logical decision making, and how much of it was either emotion or intangible, other immeasurable thing?
Probably 80-20.
Okay.
Emotional
Do
to logical.
80
Maybe even
emotional.
90-10. Yeah, 80-20 logical, maybe even 90-10.
Okay, so was that just a poor decision on your part?
That was a decision I only made once. I'm not making it every single year.
But you can at least understand that some really important decisions can be made with emotion, and they're not invalid in doing so.
Correct, but again, you're talking about apples to I don't know, tigers. Like we're not
I'm talking
even
about
talking
philosophy. I'm talking about you saying that you're talking about the gray. You're saying you want things to be measurable, and I'm saying that some things that are immeasurable still have value and aren't necessarily, I think you're looking for an end result, a concrete end result that, for me, doesn't exist. I don't know how you ever get to a point.
Do you think it
in
doesn't
which it's
exist
fair.
because you don't want it to exist, or
No,
do you
no, no.
think
I
it
think
can't
you're-
exist?
I think it can exist. I think your parameters, your theoretical parameters, become a limiting factor. Rather than clarity, I find more of a prison.
I don't think that's interesting that you think having a set bar as limiting as opposed to that defines what a true MVP is. That I just find that interesting. I don't think that limits anybody. If you're truly great, you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it. Like you said, if you're sub 500, you don't deserve this award. Well, that's pretty damn limiting, even though you could be
Yeah.
truly great. I don't think that's fair. you're saying
but that's part of sports that I'm okay with. It's like,
okay, but you're okay with that, but I'm not okay with this, and you're telling me that's wrong.
no, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm saying it's limiting. Like I think there's a lot of really good players that are on shitty teams, and that just happens. And I think like basically,
Isn't
how
limiting
different?
good? Isn't
Wait,
limiting good?
What I'm saying is like, what is the difference between McGrady and Kobe, right? Like
Titles?
right? Maybe it's an ocean, or maybe it was just Shaq.
Oh, yeah.
And like and that is just like, fuck. Well, that was just a luck of the draw.
Yeah.
One guy got drafted to the Raptors and then went to Orlando Magic, and the other guy got drafted onto the Lakers when Shaq signed as a free agent. And that's not fair. But we'll never fucking know. And that's just fucking sports.
I guess I like, as you and I have always debated, I like data. I don't like living in the gray area.
Right. You like certainty.
Yeah, well, I just think in an award that holds so much importance throughout, if we're talking about the NBA as like this thing to protect, like this thing that means so much to us, I think it would be, that's how you do right by it, is by having something that's measurable, that as a kid, like if I'm a kid now and I like, my goal is to be an MVP of the NBA one day, at least I know what to strive for. Like, I know these are all the hurdles, the things that I have to achieve, I have to reach in order to achieve my goal. Because what do they say all the time? A goal without measurement is a dream, right? Like you can't. What? That's like a famous saying. Well, hold on, I want to get their quote right.
Sure,
because you're making fun of me.
Like, no. That can be a valid quote. Yeah, go for it. What is it?
A goal without a plan is just a wish. Right? So if you don't have...
Okay, so okay.
I'm just saying, if you're a kid and you're like striving, if that's your goal, I want to be MVP of the NBA, but you don't know what you're striving for, oh, I'm just going to be great. Well, great is just measurable.
No, man. No. You can be like, hey, I want to be the scoring champion. Easily measurable. Hey, I want to be an all-star. Whatever.
That's voted on by the populace. Yeah.
Okay, and then lastly, you're like, oh, okay, I want to be a champion. It's very easy. Those are concrete ways to go about it. The MVP is a subjective award that is voted on by humans. So it's not going to be ever fully quantifiable.
Soon to be AI. Soon to be AI.
It's honestly, it's just as dumb and for me interesting and juicy to talk about as like best actor or best picture, right? How are we going to measure a piece of art better than another person's piece of art? There's never going to ever be a rubric in which we can accurately define what is better than the other.
That's
it comes
so
down
different.
It comes down to a subjective idea of what you prefer and what you think is better.
It doesn't have to be subjective. With art, it has
to be. Wait. It's also dumb. It's also really fucking stupid.
What is?
That we like put Oscar winner on the title because someone is an Oscar winner and someone isn't, and that is unfair as well. But it is just a fucking dumb thing that we talk about and that I care about and that you care about, that we talk about, that is just categorically unfair. It is, but that's okay.
But it doesn't.
That's fucking life.
It doesn't.
Sorry, you didn't win Best Salesman. Sorry, honey.
It doesn't have to be unfair. That's my whole point.
How would you make the Oscars fair?
No, I wasn't talking about Oscars. You were comparing the Oscars to the MVP. I'm saying one has data that you can use, the other doesn't. So I was just saying, if we can make it not fair and not stupid and not ambiguous, we have the ability as humans to fucking do that, especially with AI.
I guess what you're saying is you think that you can measure in totality basketball performance and impact.
Correct. Yes. I think that is.
And I don't think that you can measure that.
Okay.
I think there's always going to be an intangible amount that is non computable.
We disagree on that, and that's okay. Question for you then, because this could go down a different rabbit hole. I'm just hold on. This is fair.
No, I'm having a great time. I love you. Keep going.
Do you think if we have the ability to make it more fair, we should? Do you think if we could do that?
I think you can try to do your best, but there's always going to be injustice in the world and in a basketball game. That's just the nature of it. Like I applaud your desire for it to be capital F fair. I just think it's always going to fall short. It's like whatever rubric that you put around it is going to be unfair for someone somewhere. And that is why I don't think that you're ever going to find a true, accurate, and fair consensus.
But isn't that better if it's more fair for 95% versus the 5% versus unfair for everyone?
Says you somewhere that it's more fair, but even that idea of it being more fair is still subjective.
But that's my whole point of having the players decide. If the players decide this is fair,
but even that might not be fair yet again, because there's biases within the players.
But you got to trust them. They're the ones playing. We can't just say, oh, that's unfair.
They don't fucking care. They're playing 82 games a year and getting fucking domed up in Atlanta at a strip club. You know, they're not fucking crunching numbers of the off-ball gravity of LaMelo Ball. It's not happening.
Then we can agree that this is all dumb. This is just a dumb award.
Correct. Yes, it is all dumb. It is just stupid fodder for two dumbasses on a podcast to talk about for an hour and 40 minutes. Yes, I completely agree with you.
Sweet, we agree. What I can't say is that I was right, and that's what I can take home from all of this.
Cool. Justin Miller, everyone.
Oh my God. What a dumb hour and a half discussion that got us nowhere and probably got like 10 unfollows from people who are like, this
10
is
unfollows.
Really
We're going to cut
stupid.
Most of this episode. I'm going to be pissed off later on today editing this motherfucker an hour and a half in, which brings us to our next segment, This or That.
Yeah, let's go.
Wow. I need to catch my breath.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Jordan or LeBron?
I mean, I'll just take the easy answer. I'll take Jordan. And the reason I'll take Jordan is not just because of the three-peats, even though I think it's crazy when people argue, well, Jordan never lost in a finals. I don't feel like LeBron getting to X amount of more finals should count against him. I think that should count for him. I always find that like an interesting argument. It's like, well, LeBron took that, what was that shitty 07 Cavs team? Who was the point guard on that team?
Mo Williams.
He took Mo Williams to the finals, and you're going to count that against him versus Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and Steve Kerr? Like, it just seems back ass words. But I'll just say, I mean, it's so weird generationally, like what Michael Jordan did to the NBA and cultured a generation of people to have more stars in the NBA. I think that has a greater impact than what LeBron James has done. LeBron James has been a great ambassador for the NBA. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'll never say he's a bad player, did anything wrong. I'm just, when you think of like what Jordan did as far as just the recognition of getting the NBA to a huge generation that cultivated Kobe's, that cultivated LeBron's, that cultivated Curry's, I think is just impact as on the sport to our generation has just been greater than LeBron. So I would just go Jordan there.
I think LeBron has done an incredible job of honestly being a human. Like, he's seemingly a great dad, married to the same woman for a number of years, never got in trouble with the law. It can be annoying at times because he gets like overexposed, and that's just kind of like modern day media.
Yeah.
But by all accounts, a great fucking teammate, a winner, a guy who has accepted different roles on different teams, put his ego aside.
How many finals has he been in? 7? Has it been 7 finals?
Something like that.
9 finals? He's been in
so
many.
Yeah. 1-4. I think he lost one with the Cavs, one with Miami.
He lost 2 with Miami. They went 2 for 4, remember?
Oh, you're right.
Because they lost the first year against the Mavs. They won back-to-back, and then they lost to the Spurs their 4th time.
Yeah. So lost the first time with Cleveland, 2 with Miami, and then lost at least 2 with Cleveland the second time. So he's at least been in 5 losses.
No, I don't think he got to the finals that many times against Golden State. Didn't they just get match up once and he beat them?
No, I think he lost against KD twice, right?
Well, he might have. Maybe, yeah.
It's so maybe even 3 times.
But again, like, that's just crazy that's held against him. in my mind.
But he's the guy that you would like. He always makes the right basketball play, which is potentially the knock on him, that he's willing to pass in those big moments.
Correct.
I think it's pretty remarkable for being chosen, literally having that on his fucking back at the age of like 16, and has not had one fucking hiccup the entire time.
Yeah, he's been in the NBA since he was 18 years old, when they still could
Yeah.
get drafted directly from high school, because I think they changed it the year after. I think 05 was the last, or 04 was the last year you could get drafted
Yeah, something like
directly
that.
from high school.
Ed, going back to your argument of measurable ideas of greatness,
Yeah.
statistically, he's the greatest player of all time. So with all of that said, I'm definitely going to have to say Michael Jordan, because that motherfucker is cool as shit. I think that he's probably a shittier person. Anecdotally, he kind of seems like more of a fucking asshole. He was a fucking shitty owner. But that dude was just super fucking cool. And he has this mythical quality to him, I think, because even though he's in so many commercials, he wasn't ever overexposed like LeBron is now, where it's like,
Yeah.
truly you need to be kind of a media mogul. There's this still a mysterious quality to MJ. And yeah, in a pickup basketball game, like, I want that fucking dog over there. I
Yeah.
want like the guy that would fucking, he was like infamous for getting in fights with his teammates. And like,
Didn't he punch?
yeah.
Didn't he punch someone on his team?
Steve
Didn't
Kerr.
he punch Kerr in the face? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a fucking complete fucking asshole. And I'm like, and I'm kind of into that.
And he
That
loves
turns
to,
me on just a little bit.
and he loves to marlin fish. He's in the White Marlin Classic every single year. His boat's called Catch 23. How fucking epic is that?
Yeah. He also had a baby Hitler mustache. So how can you not, Okay. Kobe or Curry?
Dude, I'd take Curry, which is wild. I
Because?
mean, he doesn't, like, he could just pass half court and take a shot and he's going to make it. Like, Curry has tons of clutch shots. I would put him on the same, like tier as Kobe is, like, clutch when it comes to needing a bucket. But if we go off for percentages, I think Curry's even a better percentage field goal shooter all around. And I just like, man, Curry doesn't even need to get up to the 3-point line or inside the paint. Like, he just he could pull past the logo and take a confident shot and make it. So I'm just like, if I need a bucket, I'm like, you could shoot from 60 feet and make it. So I'm going to take Curry on that one.
Cool. Great pick.
Sure, I know
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I'm logic tells me Kobe, I think, for the defense and for the amount of fear that he would instill in the other team. I think Curry does the same thing as well. He's just a smiling killer.
Yeah.
versus Kobe was a scowling killer. I think their cultural impact is pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
I think where they are all time, pretty fucking close. I think they're both around.
Well,
like,
isn't
number
Curry
10
like
all time.
considered like the best shooter of all time now? Like,
Yeah,
ever?
yeah. And he definitely is. Definitely is. I don't think he's necessarily a better offensive player than Kobe, and I don't think he's a better defensive player than Kobe.
Yeah.
I think he's a great leader, and I think in a lot of ways he's a better leader than Kobe to a degree. But yeah, I mean, Kobe's just on my team, Lakers for life, baby. Let's fucking go. This or that, an alley-oop or a three?
Alley-oop. I mean, I love a dagger three, like especially when like Mike Tirico or any one of those announcers go bang, like after a three is hit. But dude, like, I just think of some of the most iconic dunks in history. I think of that like LeBron, Dwayne Wade alley-oop where he throws it up and he does like the airplane arms, and then you just see LeBron just throwing it down in the back. And man, there's just something about an alley-oop that is all time for me. Give me backboard breaking, give me windmills, give me some two-hand behind the head. Like, I love the flash. 3 points are fun, like for ending a game. But dude, if you need to build the energy up in an arena, fan base, or your team, there's nothing like hearing that like slam in an arena, especially if it's like the away team and you're in an arena and you slam that, how it echoes. Just so good, man. So good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you're right. Okay. what's the name of the Ben Stiller Jennifer
Along
Aniston
Came
movie?
Polly.
Okay, so Philip Seymour Hoffman in Along Came Polly,
Got it.
or Edward Norton in American History X.
Dude. How? What?
Okay, so yeah, on one hand, you know, like, yeah, you are a skinhead, you know, incredibly racist. You curb stomped somebody and you went to jail for it. But you also dunk in a pickup basketball game, shirts and skins, pun intended.
Do you remember what
Or-
happened? Do you remember what happens to him in that movie?
Yeah. No, I remember. Or you're Philip Seymour Hoffman, right? You have a broke jump shot, but you have incredible confidence.
Dude, it's Philip
It's tough. I know. It's really tough. It's one of our best this or that's ever. I agree.
You should have done this or that of Philip Seymour Hoffman versus Norm from Seinfeld as the fat off the bench guy in Space Jam. Remember?
Oh, wow. Or fucking even like Stanley in The Office. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Dude,
Yeah.
Edward Norton, American History. You were
That's your answer? Wow. Okay, cool. Moving on. Thank you for your answer. What's my last one?
you psychopath.
I think that's all I have. Oh, actually, no, here we go.
Okay.
NBA Jam or NBA Live? I would like for you
Dude.
to remember, I'd like for you to remember the dunk contest portion of NBA Live,
Ooh,
which was sick. That was revolutionary.
dude.
But
Well,
also,
you
He's
also-
on Fire is fucking, you know.
You also forgot NBA.
Immortalized.
You forgot NBA Streets too.
Yeah.
Those games
Which
were
I-
so fun.
Which Kill Thug Mary, I'm gonna fucking kill NBA Streets, but sure.
I'll go with NBA Jam. I mean, that's a game I grew up with. I wasn't huge on sports games, like, as a kid in general, but I remember, like, sleepovers or hanging out with my friends, and we'd play NBA Jam either in the arcade or on Super Nintendo. Get away with it! And he's catching fire! Like, I just
Yeah.
remember all those, like, sayings.
He's heating up.
That's it, yeah. It was so fun, especially when you got, like, big head mode. It's just like
Yeah.
their giant
Yeah.
heads. I'll go NBA Jam. What about you?
I loved NBA Live. That reminds me of college, of like
Gotcha.
just learning like the between the leg dunks and like the dunk
Oh.
contest. That was my jam.
So good.
Well, I don't think there's anything else we could possibly say about basketball.
No one's here.
I-
We have 0 listeners at this point in this show.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to whoever hears these sounds coming out from my mouth, because you are really doing the Lord's work. Also, I am questioning your decision making. You should go do something else. Thank you for being here. Fucking smash that like button.
You can skip this episode. We'll forgive you. But we appreciate all of you. Hopefully, Brandon edits this down into 30 minutes somehow.
No way. It's not even possible. There's no way I could do this. Yeah.
And have a great weekend, y'all. Till next time.
Don't let the signal fade away. You know I'm just one flip away.